Mega Evolution is one of my personal favorite Pokemon gimmicks and one of my favorite things about Pokemon games. In the recent trailer for Pokemon Legends ZA, the Mega Evolution symbol was shown on screen, which suggests that we're about to have Mega Evolution return for the first time in a long time, which really excites me. In this video, we're going to go through a few Pokemon that I believe should get Mega Evolutions just to enhance them just that little bit. None of these Pokemon are going to be super overpowered, so I've tried to select Pokemon that are quite underused and a little bit lackluster in terms of their stats. Let me know down below if you agree with my list and what Pokemon would you give Mega Evolutions to. If you're a fan of the channel, you know I recently covered a theory that we may have cracked what the starter Pokemon for the Legends ZA games are going to be. Now, if you don't want that spoiled, maybe skip ahead a minute or two here, but I believe that the starter Pokemon are going to get Mega Evolutions, and this is where it gets quite interesting, since on screen right now are the three Pokemon that we believe are going to be in the starter selection screen for Pokemon Legends ZA, that being Piplup, Snivy, and Torchic. Torchic already has a Mega Evolution in the form of Blaziken. Now, Blaziken's Mega Evolution is incredibly busted and one of the coolest Mega Evolutions, so this leads me to believe that we could be getting a Mega Evolution for Empoleon and Serperior. Now, this is just the first one that I'm throwing at you guys. This is just a complete theory, so I don't have any stats or anything on the screen to back this one up. I just believe that Piplup and Snivy's evolutions should be getting Mega Evolutions to fall in line with Blaziken. It just makes sense. This is if these three Pokemon are going to be the starter Pokemon that are going to be in Legends ZA. We don't 100% know this for sure, but as a fan of Empoleon, I would love this a lot. Next up is a Pokemon that is a massive fan favorite in Flygon. Now, Flygon's base stats are already really impressive with a total of 520. I'm more interested in this Mega Evolution design. Now, if we're going back to the past or even to the future, Flygon could have amazing forms in the Mega Evolution stage. And if we're going to the future, I could see Flygon being just this awesome mechanical dinosaur looking thing. I just had this vision in my mind right now. I wish I was any sort of skilled in art because I would draw this, but Mega Flygon would be ultra impressive. It already has a base 100 and base 100 speed stats, so you could probably enhance its defensive stats just a little bit and give it an awesome ability. Not sure what that could be, but a speed boosting Flygon would actually be really cool. But it already gets Dragon Dance and it's already quite fast, but a Mega Evolved Flygon would be damn scary, and I would hate to come up against this thing. It's a fan favorite, and people have wanted it for a long time, so Legends ZA, hopefully you can add it to the game. Another personal favorite of mine is Luxray, and I believe Luxray deserves a Mega Evolution just because it's been a Generation 4 powerhouse for quite some time, and it's very underrated. It has a total base stats of 520 with its attack stat being 120, and I believe that a Mega Evolved Luxray would look absolutely awesome, but also scare the crap out of everyone in competitive. This sort of Pokemon deserves a Mega Evolution just because it's been a fan favorite for a long time, and it's one of those first route Pokemon that just impressed you and you took upon your journey for the whole game. Imagine if you could do that in Pokemon Legends ZA. You can add it early in your team, and towards the end, if there is an Elite Four, when you take on the Elite Four, you can finally Mega Evolve this Pokemon and just use its full potential. Luxray is just one of those underrated Pokemon in my opinions. I never really see it used in battle, but anytime people play through Generation 4, I always see it on their teams, and it's just one of the coolest Pokemon already, and I'm just really interested to see how they can make it even cooler with a Mega Evolution design. You could give it an awesome ability just like Flygon, and this thing would be an absolute beast. The stats are already really high, and the next two Pokemon I've got on this list to share a spot also are quite high, but I'm really interested to see these designs mostly over the stats increases. This is kind of going with the theme that we're going to be in the past for Legends ZA, but imagine if Tyrantrum and Aurorus got Mega Evolutions. Considering we're going back to the Kalos region in Lumiose City, these two Pokemon are the fossils for Generation 6. And giving them Mega Evolutions, if we're in the past, before the Kalos region we know, I think these could be absolutely incredible. Both these Pokemon have base 521 stats, so they don't really need enhancing too much. This is another kind of selection of mine just because they're some of my personal favorites that I think the designs just could be really cool, and you adjust their abilities a little bit. they could be monsters. Now, Mega Evolution is one of those things that should enhance lower Pokemon with not much potential, and Pokemon that are a little bit lackluster. But there's a lot of Pokemon Megas out there already that take already amazing Pokemon and turn them into absolutely incredible Pokemon. And Tyranitar and Aurorus are, in my opinion, a little bit forgotten outside of the Generation 6 games, and giving them Mega Evolutions would be absolutely awesome. Could you imagine just like a T-Rex going to the next level? I don't even know how you could do that. Maybe giving it wings or extra spikes. I don't have a clue. And Aurorus looks amazing itself. I just think these two Pokemon, considering we're going back to Kalos and we could potentially be in the past, just are in line for a Mega Evolution, and I would absolutely love it. Next up on the list, we have a Generation 5 favorite of mine, and that's Musharna. I use Musharna in every Generation 5 replay that I do, including Black 2, White 2, and I just believe this Pokemon is really underrated and isn't used as often as it should be. Giving Musharna a Mega Evolution would enhance its stats at just a 487, and its best stats are the HP, Special Attack, and Special Defense. This thing is a special attacking monster. Now, it's very underrated in-game, and I've used it quite a bit on Pokemon Showdown as well, and I catch a lot of people off guard with Musharna's moveset. I think giving this a Mega Evolution, enhancing its stats a little bit, and giving it a good ability would just make this thing incredible. This one's not about design, because I'm not sure what you can do with this sort of design. It looks pretty meh, but trust me, it's a beast in battle. This is kind of a personal pick for the list, from my opinion, and I just think Musharna definitely deserves a Mega Evolution. It would make it used a little bit more. In a perfect world, this Pokemon would already be a little bit more bulky, but it's just a beast in game, and I would love to use a Mega Evolution for Musharna. I'm not sure if anyone else would agree with me on this list, but if you are watching this far into the video and you do agree, then comment Musharna is the best down below. If we're talking about Generation 6 and we're also talking about pretty average Pokemon, then Furfrou definitely deserves a Mega Evolution. I think a Mega Evolving dog would be quite incredible, and Furfrou already has a base stats of 472 with best stats being speed and special defense. Its speed stat is 102, but then its attacking stats are very bad. If you enhance this Pokemon, increase its attack stats a little bit, I believe a lot more people would use this Pokemon. But if we're thinking about Generation 6 or Pokemon Legends ZA being based in Generation 6 in the Kalos region, then I definitely believe a few Generation 6 Pokemon are going to be entitled to Megas. Now, I know a lot of people are considering Generation 5 to be the game that's going to be next up, and then they're pretty annoyed that Generation 6 or Kalos region, I should stop referring to the generations, but the Kalos region jumped in before the Unova region, so I know a few Unova Pokemon might get Mega Evolutions too, but a lot of these might be Generation 6 Pokemon or Kalos Pokemon. So Furfrou is definitely one of those candidates. I would love to see a Mega Evolving Furfrou because dogs are one of my favorite animals, and this Pokemon's stats are pretty meh, and its ability is already okay, but I could see this Pokemon just being a little bit better. Talking about the Unova region and Generation 5, if we're going to give Unova Pokemon enhanced stats and Mega Evolutions, then Maractus is definitely one of the frontline candidates for this. With a base stat total of 461 and no stats that really stand out apart from 106 base special attack, Maractus definitely needs some help to enhance it. Maractus is one of those Pokemon where I never see anyone use in battle, and the few times I got it in random battles on Pokemon Showdown, I got absolutely wrecked with it. It's not a Pokemon that I'd pick in game because there's better grass type Pokemon, but if you gave this thing a Mega Evolution, I'm sure a lot more people would use it. I could see this cactus just exploding and being an absolute monster design-wise, and its stats could also be enhanced just a little bit to make this more of a threat. Maractus is definitely underrated and underused, and this fits the bill for Mega Evolutions perfectly. I'm honestly not sure where I'm going to be going with this next entry into the list. I kind of added it to the list and didn't have any idea of what to do with it, but I would love to see Twitter and the Pokemon universe melt down that the fact that Jynx gets a Mega Evolution before a lot of the fan favorite Pokemon on this list, or even other fan favorite Pokemon in game. Now, Jynx is already an okay Pokemon with a base stat total of 455. Its best stats are its special attack at 115 and its speed at 95. So it's already an okay Pokemon, but it's a bit of a glass cannon. I'm not sure where you could go with Jinx's design. I believe you can kind of enhance it, kind of like the Gardevoir design, and just give this thing like a bigger outfit, make it look a bit more powerhouse, make it look like a queen, I guess. But Jinx could be in line for a Mega Evolution because it's the Generation 1 Pokemon that's quite underused and quite underappreciated. And it's also one of those Pokemon that they tend to give Mega Evolutions to, just like a few other Megas that are already available in the Pokemon games. I would just love to see the whole Pokemon universe melt down at this, but Jinx, in my opinion, deserves a Mega Evolution. Another Generation 1 favorite of mine is Butterfree. And Butterfree deserves a Mega Evolution purely because Beedrill got a Mega Evolution. And Beedrill is one of my favorite Megas in any Pokemon game, and it's one of the more underappreciated Megas in my opinion as well. Butterfree just deserves a Mega Evolution to kind of tie it up with Beedrill a little bit, but its base stat total is 395, which is pretty bad. Its best base stat is its special attack, sitting at just a merely 90. The rest of its stats are pretty average, and I just believe a Mega Butterfree would be quite cool for Generation 1 fans, and Beedrill got a Mega Evolution, so why not give Butterfree a Mega Evolution too? Butterfree is one of the more lesser used butterfly Pokemon in the game. I believe people use the Beautyfly and I forget the Vivillon, I think it's called, a little bit more than Butterfree, but seeing Butterfree get a Mega Evolution and turn into something like a battle butterfly would be absolutely insane. You can kind of go down the same sort of path as Mega Beedrill got, but just Butterfree looking in a mega form would just be absolutely insane, and it would enhance its stats a lot and make this Pokemon a bit better. How do you think I've gone with this list so far? I've got one more Pokemon coming up in a second, but if you guys are enjoying this video, be sure to leave a like and comment down below what your list would be, and definitely be sure to subscribe. I'm going to pump out a whole bunch of content for Pokemon Legends Z in the coming weeks. I'm very excited for this game. I'm trying my best to find a few leaks and a few hints of what the story could be here and there, but I am working on these lists as well because I've got a few cool Pokemon videos that I want to release before that. But if you are enjoying this video, definitely be sure to leave a like, and thank you again for watching this far. Let's get into the final Pokemon on this list. The final spot on this list is going to go to the Pokemon's mascot in Pikachu, but not Pikachu, it's going to go to Raichu. I just thought that the Raichu Mega Evolution could look incredible, and we've already got a few different forms of Raichu with the Alolan forms, so I think a Mega Evolution for this thing is no doubt going to be incredible. Its stats are already 485 with a base stat in attack of 90, a base stat in special attack of 90, and a base stat in speed of 110. So this Pokemon is already really good in battle, but giving the mascot of the Pokemon franchise a Mega Evolution would just be absolutely incredible to see. I'm sure a lot of people would love to see Raichu get some love. Charizard got 2 Mega Evolutions for crying out loud, so Raichu could definitely deserve 1. I'm not sure where you really go design wise, but I'm not also sure where you go stat-wise either, since it's already a decent Pokemon. I just think overall you can make this Pokemon an absolute beast in battle and just make it look really cool with a Mega Evolution form. I just think Raichu is deserving just because it's been a mascot for so long, and I was actually really surprised when we didn't get a Mega Evolution in the Generation 6 games. But Raichu is a cool Pokemon, and a Mega Evolution for this Pokemon could be really cool as well. So there you have it. There is my list of Pokemon that I think should be deserving of a Mega Evolution. If I was honestly going to pick, I'd feel like Flygon, maybe Butterfree, and potentially Luxray out of this list are going to get Mega Evolutions. I'm not even sure we're going to get any new Mega Evolutions. We might just have the old ones come back to the game, and we might just see Mega Evolution towards the end of the storyline. We don't even know, but Mega Evolution is one of my favorite gimmicks, and I'm really glad I made this video. Again, let me know down below what you think. Let me know what your list would be. What is your #1 Pokemon that deserves a Mega Evolution? And I'll catch you guys on the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching.